Hello, everyone. This is LaToya of Infinitenature, and I am back with a new video. So, I wanted to talk about the solar eclipse that we are about to have on actually tomorrow, which is also Father's Day, which is also interesting in itself. So, we're going to have a solar eclipse in Cancer. We also have a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So we're going to be in Mercury retrograde until like the 12th, I believe, of July. So for about 3 weeks. And what else is going on? I made my notes so I wouldn't forget anything that I wanted to talk about. So we have the new moon in Cancer on tomorrow. Then we also have Father's Day tomorrow. And the new moon is in Cancer. And also the new moon is a solar eclipse. And today, Saturday, is the summer solstice, which is powerful in itself. So today is the day where the daylight and not in darkness, the daylight and the nighttime darkness is even. And then from this point forward, as we go into the rest of the year, the days will get shorter, and nightfall will get longer. But hey y'all, I just realized that I got the solstice and the equinox mixed up. It is the summer solstice, of course, but I was describing the equinox. What I really meant to say was the solstice is for the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, you know, and it's also the day that we have the most sunlight. And I was relating that back to the fact that normally we're all out and about, but now with all of the things that's going on, we can't be as we have more restrictions. So that's the whole point I was trying to make. But yeah, I just realized that after watching the video. So back to the video. I love summertime. I love spring and I love summertime because we get more sunlight. And with all of the things that's going on right now, since March, we haven't had that opportunity like in other times to be able to be really out and about. More people are out now that some of the restrictions have been taken off, but still it's not the same as last summer, the other summers. But still, it's just interesting in itself, and I want to talk about that some more in this video. So let's talk about the solar eclipse. And I'm looking down just so that I can look at the notes that I wrote for this video. So the solar eclipse is when the moon stands between the sun and the earth. So the moon is covering the sun. And the solar eclipse is pretty much, this is what I've read about, is that it is like having a new moon on steroids. So when I think of the new moon, I've always, since not all my life, but ever since I've come into my own, I've seen the value of connecting with the moon cycles and being in alignment with the moon cycles. And a lot of times we're already naturally aligned with the moon cycles. But for the new moon, that represents new beginnings. It's a great time to start new projects. It's also a great time to plant seeds for your future, whatever that may be. It's just a good opportunity and a good time to start something new. Just like the full moon is about releasing, it's about letting go, it's about ending things. But what's interesting about this new moon, which is also a solar eclipse, is that we're in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. We just started the Mercury retrograde. And the Mercury retrograde it's like, it's the Mercury has an illusion. Not has an illusion. It's like an optical illusion. It looks like Mercury is going backwards when it really is moving very slow. That is what Mercury is really doing. It looks like it's moving backwards, but it's just moving really slow. Just think about you're driving on the interstate and you are driving past a car really fast, and then as you moving and as you moving past them, they're behind you or whatnot. And really, in reality, you're in the same direction. It's just that they're moving slower than you are. Like that's the best comparison to make it. But Mercury is the planet that is the fastest moving planet. It represents the messenger. It's connected to communications. The signs Gemini and Virgo are connected to this planet. So people who are Virgos and Geminis, to me, they are always going to be impacted in some way, shape, or form when it comes to the Mercury retrograde. My husband is a Virgo. My rising is in Virgo. So I always keep that in mind when it comes to us and our communication. And I always remind him of that for his own, so that he can be mindful of that also. And I would always advise him because he's an entrepreneur, and he also has worked in real estate. And one of the things that I always noticed, and I may have said this in a previous video, I don't know, but one of the things that I've noticed that when he used to mention about a house closing, he used to mention it, and I would be like, it's the Mercury retrograde, so don't be surprised if this gets pushed back or something. And I don't know who would like set the dates. I was like, who is doing this? Who is planning the dates? Because it's always around the Mercury retrograde when you bring something up. And like, lo and behold, it always ended up happening. Something ended up happening during the Mercury retrograde. When I used to work outside of the home, and I always noticed that the computers used to be down, or something was wrong with the computers in the offices. It used to be like phone issues, all of that. I remember like around the time of the Mercury retrograde, there's normal. I remember it was one time where the um the government shut down. Stuff like that happens during the Mercury retrograde. As you can see, I've been observing a lot of things have been going on just with Mercury in general, because Mercury right now is in Cancer, and Cancer is a very, very sensitive sign. It is a feminine sign. It is the sign that represents the mother to me. It represents home. It represents security. It represents financial security, values, all of those things. And, right now Mercury is in Cancer. So this is a time for us to really focus on making sure that we are mindful of our words, because things may be a little bit more emotionally charged right now. So it's very important to be mindful of our words and how we say things. Um, and also with it being Mercury being in retrograde, that's a whole nother level of it, because it's always encouraged to not sign major contracts, not to buy any major electronics or major purchases during this time. But I'm not going to sit here and say that you can't absolutely do it, but just always keep in mind, make sure that you really pay attention to the fine print. Make sure that you are communicating as clear as you can with people. This is also during the Mercury retrograde. It's a time where people from your past may come out of the blue, or you might be just reflecting on the past, reviewing the past. You may have gone through a lot of healing in your life, and it's just a review and a reflection, and you may be caught in a situation where you are being tested to see how you will respond to it, and it's maybe shows how you've grown, or areas that may need to improve. It can be there's so many things to look at with the Mercury retrograde. A lot of people are look are a little afraid of the are some of people, a lot of are afraid of the Mercury retrograde. At one point in time, I used to dread it, but I now see the value of the Mercury retrograde and how it can really support you in moving forward. It can help you to review things, to be more cautious of the things that you are taking in and the things that you are reading and all of that stuff. So to me, that's the value of the Mercury retrograde. It's a time of growth. It really challenges us to communicate clearly and to know what we need and what we want, and to also decipher what we're processing when it comes to our feelings and when it comes to our emotions. So to me, this is so powerful because you have a Mercury retrograde going on right now in Cancer. And then on top of that, you have a freaking uh, new moon in Cancer. Okay. That is a lunar eclipse. So to me, this is a major time to definitely, start. I would say this is a good time to start to put your intentions onto something that you do want to start, even though it's the Mercury retrograde, because we're only going to be in it for 3 weeks or whatnot. But for me personally, this is very interesting because it's also the same day as Father's Day. And to me, that symbolizes the need for us to balance the masculine and the feminine energies. That even though it's Father's Day, is on this very same day as the new moon, which represents the mother. So to me, I feel like this global reset has forced us to really sit down, to be still, which is very feminine, and to be able to receive messages. And that's what femininity is about. It's about reception, or what about you honing into your feminine energy is about reception, and we all have it, regardless of gender or whatnot. We all have it in us, and the key is to balance it out and to know when to use it. So I think that's very valuable business out there. But I definitely been, tapping into my childhood, because that's what Cancer is about. Cancer is about childhood stuff. Cancer is about childhood, about your home, your roots. So this is a perfect time to really connect with your roots, and for me, the global reset period has taught me that one of the things that I need to do to thrive is to create a home environment that is nurturing and loving to me, that is nurturing and that is caring and that is loving to me. If I didn't, anything that I felt that I needed, I give it to myself now. I nurture my inner child now. I'm an adult and I'm able to, nurture myself, So that's one of the things that I've learned during this global reset. So for me, this solar eclipse happening in Cancer during the Mercury retrograde, I think it's for us to go back, to look back into our history, into our family, and be able to see the lessons that we learn, and to be able to see what aspects of our lives need to be nurtured and cared for and tended to. I feel like I'm in a really good place. I'm getting back into the groove of doing the things that I love and doing the things that I enjoy. The only difference now is that I have a baby now. It took me a while to get back in the groove because I'm a new person. But it's still important to do things that I love and that I enjoy. There's so many things that I have going on that I am creating and manifesting, and I'm so excited about it. And I think that part of the reason why I'm able to create and to tap into these things is because I've been doing the healing work. I've been connecting with my higher self, with my ancestors, with the Creator. I've been wanting to release the old energy that no longer served me, old ways of dealing with things to survive in an environment. All of those old ways of doing things, I don't have to do that anymore. Like coping mechanisms. There's, coping mechanisms that we all sometimes adopt just so that we can survive in our environments and things like that. But as I am growing into my own and utilizing my voice, I am able to thrive and be on alignment to the assignment that God has placed on my heart to express. There's so many things that I am in the process of doing, and I'm so excited about it, and I look forward to sharing it moving forward. And if you haven't noticed, I've been posting a lot more lately, and I think it has a lot to do with me clearing out a lot of energy. I feel like I am personally at the end of a karmic cycle, and karma is really just a balancing act. It's like a balancing of energies. You know, for every cause there is an effect. And I stated in a previous video, I'm into numerology, and we are in a 4-year, which is about home, which is about family, which is about work, which is about getting back to the basics. Everything that this reset, this global reset that we're going through is all 4 energy. And in 2011, I was in 4 energy. We were in 4 energy. I was in my personal 4-year, and this year is my personal 4-year. So I have a double whammy of this going on with me. But it's just interesting how I look at back then and I look at now, and that was 9 years ago, like literally. And 9 represents endings and moving on to new beginnings. And to me, that was confirmation. I kept getting parallels with 9. So I was just like, you know what? This is amazing. And I've been doing a lot of cord cutting, a lot of karma clearing. I'm gonna continue to do it. I'm probably not gonna do it on the new moon, but I will be definitely doing this Mercury retrograde, because this is a time of looking back and reflecting back, and people from your past may come back and, you know, hit you up and call you or email you or whatever. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But that's all that I wanted to share for right now. I just looking down to make sure that I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about, and I did. So thank you once again for watching, and you can follow me also on Instagram at Infinitenature1, on Twitter at Infinitenature1, on Tumblr at Infinitenature, and on Facebook at Infinitenature. And stay tuned for more videos. Y'all have a great day.